Good evening. I'd like to welcome you to the special meeting of the Urbana City Council for Monday, May 2nd, 2022. Could the clerk please call the roll?
Miss Wu,
Here.
Mr. Evans,
Here.
Miss Hersey,
Here.
Miss Colasetti, here, Miss Bishop,
Here.
Miss Wilkin,
Here.
Mr. Quisenberry, Mayor Marlin.
Here. I also want to note that the committee of the whole meeting will follow immediately after this special city council meeting. Are there any additions to the agenda? We have none. Next item on the agenda is presentations and public input. Is there any public input for the items under new business or in general? Go ahead, please state your name for the record.
Alan Max Axelrod, City of Urbana. I'm the campaign lead of No Airmen Shutoffs, a coalition of 54 member organizations and counting, spanning the state of Illinois, north, south, east, and west, and adjacent states. I was informed about a special meeting where you would be talking about negotiating with Illinois American Water concerning their rate increase. I would urge you to vote against that and to instead coordinate with other cities to push back against this rate increase. It is a naked cash grab. An example, Q1 2022, they had an earnings of 87 cents per share. As a reminder, that is profit inherent above their cost. That is up from Q1 2022, or Q1 2021 from the previous year. I'm going to look that up right now. Bear with me. Which was 73 cents per share. Virtually every quarter of this pandemic, even during utility shutoff moratoria, that most of which didn't really apply to them, their parent company, American Water Works, had increased profits per share. We have been documenting this every quarter of the pandemic. Instances of this are juxtaposed against the low enrollment rates of the Low-Income Home Water Assistance Program, otherwise known as LIWAP, who had its debut season. Now, its enrollment is very similar to the process for the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program. From a FOIA response for February 2nd, 2022, we had inquired about the enrollment numbers of LIHEAP, LIWAP, the funds available for LIHEAP and LIWAP as well. In contrast to the 142,000 and change households that received LIHEAP, 1,744, that's barely 1%, have received the Low-Income Home Water Assistance Program. This is going to affect vulnerable households across most of our communities, and so instead reaching out to those other city councils to talk to them about negotiating as a block against these rate increases is by far a better policy with no additional resources other than time. Time talking to these other council persons and having that being pushed back against. Unless anyone thinks, maybe the enrollment was improved later. We had FOIA'd on March 17th, 2022 for the enrollment of that season. 172,000 and change for LIHEAP, only 3,000 for LIWAP. This is not the time to stand as an island against a profitable corporation. Thank you.
Does anyone else wish to address the Urbana City Council? Okay, we'll move on to council input and communications. Any comments from council members? Okay. Move on to new business. First item of business is resolution number 2022-05-038R, which is a resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement regarding the Illinois American Water Company rate increase case. In summary, this is a proposal to join with neighboring communities to intervene in the case against the Illinois American Water Company rate increase. We've done this in past rate increases and will hope to do it again this year. The Illinois American Water Company recently filed a rate increase case with the Illinois Commerce Commission. They proposed a general increase in rates for water and wastewater services. Effective water customer increase would be about 32.9%. In the past, the City of Urbana has entered into intergovernmental agreements with other municipalities to retain the services of an attorney for intervention in our behalf in other ICC cases. For example, I believe the last time we intervened in a water case, it was in 2016, at which time the company had proposed a 17.61% increase. The final increase was reduced to 12.58%. The resolution that the council will be considering tonight authorizes the mayor to enter into an agreement with the City of Champaign, Village of Philo, Village of St. Joseph, Village of Savoy, and City of South Beloit, Illinois, for the purpose of intervening in the Illinois American Water Company rate increase. City of Champaign will be the lead agency. The cost share allocation will be based on population data from the 2020 census. The total cost of the intervention action for this phase will not exceed $32,000 without amending the agreement. Per the attached agreement, our City of Urbana's cost share would be a maximum of $8,195.85, and it's recommended that the council pass this resolution. Is there a motion for approval? Get this on the
I
floor.
have questions.
Yes.
I just wanted to understand a little bit better about the process of intervention. What does that mean?
I'd ask City Attorney to answer that.
I'll answer as best I can. I think intervening really means it's not, I think as the citizen indicated, a negotiation with the water company about what we'd like to see happen. Intervention is typically a term used when you're dealing with kind of an agency-based process like this is, meaning you're going to the Illinois Commerce Commission to kind of fight the idea of this. And that's what this is about, is it's more of, I think, trying to fight the rate increase to the point of, you know, hopefully substantially reducing it. I can't imagine it would be reduced to 0% increase, but at least the communities are trying to band together to fight what is suggested to be the increase.
So this comes before a board to review and then approve their rate increase, and then I assume it's some kind of public hearing in which we would have representation amongst all the communities to say, our community doesn't agree with this and we do X. Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe so. And again, I don't live this, and a lot of times you'll see attorneys recommend to public bodies to hire a specialized attorney that lives in this world. My general sense is you're correct. Basically, it's the Illinois Commerce Commission, which is just a state agency that oversees utilities and deals with their requested rate increases, and the intervention process allows those who are going to be affected by that potential rate increase to go in there. And literally, it's almost like a court hearing, if you will, where you're battling the other side to hopefully achieve a particular result. That's where this process is going to be. And I think, as Mayor alluded to, as I understand, again, this predates me, but that the city's done this previously. I believe it's the same attorney that actually was retained the last time as well, who specializes in this area that Champaign is directly connected to and then coordinates with as these may happen from time to time.
Is anybody aware of what was successfully won in the last one? Is it a certain percentage?
Yeah, only as the mayor indicated, I think, in her comments.
In the
is-
memo, it
far
was
as my understanding.
17% increase proposed, and it was reduced
Just
to
a
12%.
12.58. Okay. Yep. Thank you.
Grace?
So is it a,
Sorry, please. Go ahead.
oh, okay. Is it a court hearing or is it just a public hearing, and who makes the decision?
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily call it a court hearing. I kind of equate sometimes agency hearings similar to that, because you do have one side against the other trying to achieve a particular result. And what you have is, rather than a court, whether it's judge or jury, you have the Commerce Commission, which has a board. Now, again, if they get sometimes what they call administrative law judge, that's a term used for sometimes state agency hearings. I don't know if that's the term used for this hearing for utility stuff. So it could be a single individual that the Commerce Commission goes to get get to oversee this hearing. My belief would be it would be a public hearing, just like a court hearing process. And again, don't quote me on that. I'm just assuming. Many state agency hearings are public-based, meaning that you can go and attend if you feel like you need to. And that's really just, again, it's presentations by the company seeking the rate increase to support why they're asking for it. And then it's the other side's presentations on the idea of why they believe that such a requested rate increase is beyond reasonable, and tries to maybe perhaps suggest their own result. And again, I would imagine they wouldn't argue for 0%. I think that's a huge, huge hurdle. But certainly would try and support some substantial reduction in that percentage request.
Okay, last question. Dave, do you know, and you probably can't answer this, but what are our chances of winning the?
What I'll suggest is, I'm sure the mayor would not necessarily disagree with me, even though I don't know the history, is that, it wasn't a huge reduction, the last one that the mayor alluded to. I think what the numbers, if memory serves, just from her commenting about it, it's like a 4% reduction from what they were asking for. Here, though, when they're asking for the percent that they're requesting, to me, that's hugely significant. And I would certainly hope there'd be some success in getting it reduced. I think the question becomes how much.
The communication we received was from the attorney that intervened last time on our behalf. And as we said, the City of Champaign will be the lead agency on this. Grace, did you have a question?
Yes, thank you. A lot of them have already been answered, some of the questions about the process. But just to reiterate, so it's this joint effort with all the cities listed here, hiring a lawyer or team of lawyers to fight this with ICC to try and get the increase lessened. Is that correct?
Right, that's correct. And I remember if the mayor's had some contact too, is if I recall correctly, there may be other communities, and again, there may be small, medium-sized communities that also want to join if they're affected by this. If that were to occur, you'll see the city's portion of this reduced. Again, it would be across the board and a recalculation of what the city's potential costs would be if other municipalities end up joining as well. But that's the idea, is they're all banding together, single point of contact with an expert attorney in this area that would really be the one fighting on all of our behalves, I think, to try and get as much of it reduced as possible.
Thank you. And I had another question. I'm not sure if, I don't know if this is directed to anyone in particular, and I understand that this is a big, complicated thing, but I've been kicking around just the idea of moving towards municipally controlled water, especially with continued, if there's going to be increases in the rate continued, and just having a little more supply, control over our own supply of such an essential resource. And there's really great technologies with the U of I and lots of research centers around here for advancements in wastewater and drinking water treatment. And so just wondering if there was any other initial thoughts on that idea.
Well, that's not a topic for discussion tonight, but I will say that was briefly discussed many years ago. It's a massive undertaking, and the trend from what I've seen, especially in smaller communities, is for people to be, if they do own their own water companies, they're selling them to the larger water companies. So the trend is for people to be divesting of water companies just because of the massive, it's a massive undertaking. But anyway, on the floor tonight, well, we don't even have a motion on the floor. Can we get a motion?
I will move approval of resolution number 2022-05038R, a resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement regarding the Illinois American Water Company rate increase case. There's no number, but.
I'll second.
Okay, further discussion. Mary Alice and then Chandra.
So the way I understand it, based on how Dave described it and where we are right now, it appears that they've already submitted to a board for the increase. So that's moving forward regardless of what we do here tonight. And we have an option of trying to do this on our own or trying to do this as a community, a larger community. So for that reason, I'm in support of this.
Chandra.
How often was the last rate increase 2016?
I believe
How often
so.
are they bringing increases?
I don't know.
Okay. I just wondered if there was a trend. But as Mary Alice said, doing this together as a group, you hold a lot more weight together than as individual cities, so I'm in favor of this as well.
I would add the Village of Sydney is also part of this. I've neglected to list that there. Jaya?
Just to kind of reinforce what's already been stated, this is a really significant increase that they are proposing during a very difficult time.
Yeah.
And I think that anything that we can do to try to protect the residents of Urbana, and I think doing this with other cities, other municipalities is a really smart approach, and so I hope that we're successful in this approach.
Okay. Any other comments? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Miss Wu,
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Miss Hersey?
Yes.
Miss Colacetti?
Yes.
Miss Bishop?
Yes.
Miss Wilkin?
Yes.
Mr. Quisenberry?
That motion passes. Last item under new business are staff appointments for fire chief and deputy fire chief. And I would ask Demond Dade and Kyle Hench to join us at the table. As you know, our fire chief, Chuck Loss, is retiring effective May 5th, and I'm very pleased to submit the following appointments for your approval. We are very fortunate this year to be able to promote from within and have retain the services of two of our very well-qualified candidates. So first up is Kent Demond Dade for fire chief. These appointments are effective May 6th, 2022 through June 30th, 2022. The reason for the short segment is to get everybody on the same appointment schedule. We'll be bringing the regular staff appointments forward in a few weeks, and they will all begin effective July 1st. So I wanted to get everybody on the same schedule for these permanent appointments. So Demond Dade joined the city of Urbana as deputy fire chief in March of 2021. He was previously with the City of Quincy Fire Department for more than 20 years. He was promoted to Deputy Chief of Administration in 2019 there. He's also been an instructor at the Illinois Fire Service Institute for the past 4 years. He holds a number of certifications related to fire service and is a licensed paramedic. He has an associate's degree in applied fire science. Deputy Fire Chief Kyle Hench, for the same appointment period, he began working with the City of Urbana in 1998. He started as a firefighter, moved through the ranks of company officer and lieutenant, 2006 through 2013, captain 2013 through 2014, before he was promoted to division chief in 2014. He currently serves as battalion chief, managing day-to-day shift operations, is a licensed paramedic, holds a number of certifications related to fire service. And both Chief Dade and Deputy Chief Hench spent last week attending a leadership training conference for the entire week, and I think they actually gained some valuable information that they'll be sharing with us in the department going forward. So I would take a motion for fire chief.
I'll move,
Go ahead.
I'll move approval of appointment of Deputy Fire Chief Demond Dade to Fire Chief starting May 6, 2022 to June 30th, 2022.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, will the clerk please call the roll?
Miss Wu,
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Miss Hersey?
Yes.
Miss Colacetti?
Yes.
Miss Bishop?
Yes.
Miss Wilkin?
Yes.
That motion passes. And I'll entertain a motion for Deputy Fire Chief for Kyle Hench.
I'll move approval of Deputy Fire Chief, or Battalion Fire Chief Kyle Hench's promotion to Deputy Fire Chief for a period starting May 6th, 2022 through June 30th of 2022.
Second.
Moved by Jaya, seconded by Mary Alice. Any discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Miss Wu,
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Miss Hersey?
Yes.
Miss Colacetti?
Yes.
Miss Bishop?
Yes.
Miss Wilkin?
Yes.
That motion passes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Would you care to say a few words?
Thank you, council, for that show of support. I'm really excited to work with Chief Dade. having spent some quality time with him last week at conference was really important to me, and we got to know each other even more than we already did. So I'm just really excited to continue to serve in this capacity and to work alongside Chief Dave. Thank you.
Well, first I want to give God all the glory. I'm truly thankful and honored to have an opportunity to continue to serve this department. You guys told me to say a few words. Y'all know me. It's hard for me to say a few words. So, but seriously, I'm looking forward to continue to serve the department. There's not going to be a lot of change because we were already well on our way to working on our plan to, move forward with the future. So I'm just, like I said, you'll hear more from me later. So thank you.
Would you like to introduce your family?
Yeah, my wife is here, my wife Danielle, my daughter Anaya, that's one of my 5 children, one of my son's girlfriends, Kaya, and my daughter's boyfriend, Adam. So,
Well, welcome.
yeah, I got 4 other kids and 8 grandkids that aren't here, so.
You can hardly get a word in edgewise. Well, thank you so much, and we are excited to have you in these new positions. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, with no further business before this special meeting of the City Council, we are adjourned, and we'll go immediately to the Committee of the Whole meeting.